Now, I can't read Japanese, but it doesn't really take a genius to figure out what this means. Let's see if we can zoom in any closer here. Once. So if we pop over to the JP Twitter for just a second, we can see a couple of familiar looking medals. Again, spoilers, I guess, if knowing what medals are coming out next is a spoiler to you. I don't think anyone really cares about it too much. But yeah, following on from the World of Final Fantasy medals that we saw in the data pool the other day, it makes complete sense that when they were released, that's the perfect opportunity for World of Final Fantasy medals to come back. And so we kind of thought about it at the time. There was some discussion about it, and here's the confirmation. So it might be time to start saving up. I know a lot of people were talking about if they ever come back, now that traits are a thing, they're going to pull very, very hard on these World of Final Fantasy medals, and if JP is getting them, it's a pretty good chance we're going to get them as well. It could be a little while down the line, but at the same time, they're still tier 3 for us, so they can't leave it too much longer or else they'll be completely outclassed. I mean, they're still always going to be pretty good medals, like they're going to hit super effective damage, area of effect, and also either buff you or debuff the enemy's PSM defense. But general defense is kind of where it's at for the really high level enemies. So while they are very good, it won't be too much longer before just the fact that they're tier 3s means that they can't quite keep up. But saying that, I use mine all the time and I do not have a single guilted one. So an opportunity to guilt one of these medals, I would lose my shit over. I would lose my mind. So what are the scenarios here? Scenario A, they come out kind of soon for us. I'm not really sure what this event is coinciding with. Like, again, I can't read Japanese, and I've literally just seen that thanks to one of my Discord viewers. So I'm rushing in, haven't even waited for a translation. I can see this little 5 right next to the logo for World of Final Fantasy. So maybe it's like a 5 medal pool. It gives 5 VIP coins, so I'm guessing it's a 5 medal pool. You'll remember that ours was a 10 medal pool, and it cost 3,000 jewels to get just one of the World of Final Fantasy medals. So if it does eventually make its way over here, there's no way they can get away with doing that again. Like, they got away with doing it at the time, and people were pissed off just because, it was a lot of jewels for just one of the things, giving you a very, very low chance of guilting it unless you spent quite a few jewels on it. But yeah, if they were to come back again, some sort of 5 pool deal where the same rules apply, you get one guaranteed, and you get a good chance of getting one with 3 orbs. That's a pretty legit deal. That's pretty good. I mean, their Nova bonus still applies. They're still worth double the Nova of a traditional medal, meaning to just guilt it gives you 2 Nova levels, and to fully guilt it gives you 10 Nova levels. Traits are a huge thing. I mean, World of Final Fantasy Sora can have 2 traits on him, and all the rest can have 1. I think you'd want extra attack on all of them, but well, it depends what you want. Do you want that PSM additional bonus? Do you want to run the bonus twice, or maybe you get like aerial attack minus 60%, or the other attack minus 60%, or whatever. Or you just go crazy and you just keep buying and buying until you have a shitload of copies that have a shitload of different traits on them. Like, you have a full aerial defense setup, or you have a full ground defense setup, and you have a full raid damage setup. And it's completely overboard, but it's pretty exciting. So if you haven't spent for HD Nominee yet, maybe think, this is something to save for instead, just because the rates for pulling HD Nominee are very, very low. Obviously, people are going to get lucky. People are going to get extremely lucky. But if you aren't one of those people and you want a guaranteed really good medal, this could be the kind of thing that you want to pull for. Nothing much else to say, guys. Let me have a think real quick. So yeah, basically let me know, like, what would the deal have to be if the English version was to get them? How soon do you think you'd want them to come out? Obviously the answer is as soon as possible, but being completely realistic, if we think that our game runs a few months behind the JP version, but in the case of the World of Final Fantasy medals, they came out right after the JP version, like right after it. So we skipped ahead on those. So we could potentially do that again. We could honestly be seeing that. It's not out of the range of possibility for them to come out during this nominate banner. Even it honestly could happen. It could happen. Obviously, we'd get a tip off if these two twin medals were added to our game. That'd be a huge tip off for, okay, this deal is coming right now. And as far as I know, they aren't in our version just yet, but it could happen. It could happen within the next couple of weeks. So I'll ask you, how long would you want them to, like, realistically, when would you expect them to come to our version of the game? B, what kind of deal would you have to, like, would you want to expect that would make you pull? Like, if they had another 3,000 jewel deal, the guaranteed one again, but maybe guaranteed orbs, like, would you buy into that? Would it have to come with a tier 4 medal at the same time? I'm just trying to think, like, the hypothetical situation in which it would be really, really worth pulling for them, because again, they're fantastic medals, but, you know, we've got some medals that are coming out with additional trait slots and lowering general defense, which, to be honest, is kind of more important. Yeah, it's tricky. It's really, really tricky. So, let me know. I mean, do you think, could they even be buffed to match the JP version? I mean, that's probably not going to happen, but yeah. Let me know what you think. I'm very, very, very curious. So, yeah. Bit of info, guys. Save your jewels, as always, and I will see you real soon. All the best, guys.